Hi there BookTube, it's Eleanor here, and today I'm going to be doing my TBR for the Tome Topple Readathon. I don't think I've ever taken part in this readathon before. I've always been quite intimidated by big books, and I've been finding recently that making quite small readathon style TBRs has been a bit of a struggle, because as soon as I make that TBR, I just don't want to read it. However, I am, if you didn't know, kind of dedicating my November to reading middle grade books, really just because that's what I've been in the mood for. And if you're interested in finding out more about those books, I am trying to put up 3 middle grade reviews every Friday of the books that I'm reading. But for the Tome Topple, I realised that on my massive stack of middle grade books that I had some that were over 500 pages, which is kind of the prerequisite for the Tome Topple Readathon. It's to read your bigger books over 500 pages. So I've picked those out, and they're going to be my sort of tentative TBR for this readathon. The readathon's taking place between the 16th and the 29th of November, so it's about 2 weeks, I think, which is really good. It means that there's less pressure to get all of these books read. There is some prompts there, there's some challenges. I think there's 5, let me check. Yes, there's 5 challenges. So the first one is to read more than one tome, which I'm going to try and do. The second is to read a graphic novel over 500 pages. For that, I've picked a book that isn't actually a middle grade, but is a graphic novel I've had on my shelf for ages, and I was kindly given this by the lovely Mercedes at Mercy's Bookish Musings. I was at her house last year. She was getting rid of some books. She said she didn't really enjoy this one, and I thought, well, I've always wanted to try it. I didn't like this author's book that I have read already, which was Blankets, but Craig Thompson wrote a book called Habibi, and I have always wanted to read this one, and it is over 500 pages, and it's about 600 in fact, and it says it's sprawling across an epic landscape of deserts, harems and modern industrial clutter. Habibi tells the tale of Dodola and Zam, refugee child slaves bound to each other by chance, by circumstances and by the love that grows between them. At once contemporary and timeless, Habibi gives us a love story of astounding resonance, a parable about our relationship to the natural world, the cultural divide between the first and third worlds, the common heritage of Christianity and Islam, and most potently the magic of storytelling. So as I say, I wasn't a lover of Blankets like a lot of people are, but this one does make me want to read it, and the artwork is really nice. And when Mercedes said I could have it, I thought, why not give it a go, and what perfect opportunity to force me to have a go. So this is going to be my graphic novel choice. One of the next prompts is to read a book that's part of a series, and I believe that there is now a second book out at least for this, and that is Wildwood, which is written by Colin Malloy, and it has illustrations by Carson Ellis. This is quite a big book. It's got a bit of a map at the front. There are, as it suggests, really sweet looking illustrations all the way through, and sounds like a bit of a magical read. This is the middle grade book, and it's the story of a young girl whose brother gets kidnapped by crows, and she goes on a magical adventure recovery story to try and get her brother back. I've heard mixed reviews of this, but I want to give it a go myself, and it's over 500 pages, so fits perfectly into this book in a series prompt. The next one is the buddy reader book, which I'm not going to do for this, just because it doesn't really fit into what I want to do. And the final one is to read an adult book, which also doesn't really fit in with what I'm doing. But I have picked 2 other middle grade books, which I think I want to give a go as well if I can. They're both over 500 pages. The first one is called Dancing Jacks by Robin Jarvis. This would also fit into the book in a series, because it is a book that is the start of a series. So this is one of my favourite tropes. It's a book about books. It's set in a coastal town where this book turns up, and it's about magic and fairy tales and unicorns and castles and knights. The only thing is that anytime people read it, they can't put it down. They literally can't put it down. It looks a bit creepy, and the man on the front cover certainly looks a bit evil. I don't know much about this. It says a high octane bang, somebody has blurbed, or a brilliant supernatural thriller with a modern twist. So it's about time I get to this. I think I bought this at the Cheltenham Literature Festival 4 years ago maybe. maybe more. So it is about time that I picked this one up, and it fits the bill. It's over 500 pages. And then the final one, which I'm going to try and pick up, is The Glass Town Game by Catherine M. Valenti. I haven't read any of Catherine M. Valenti's work before. I haven't read the Fairyland series. Is it the Fairyland series? Fairyland? Yeah, I think it's Fairyland. I think it's Fairyland. But this story is about the Brontes. It says, inside a small Yorkshire parsonage, Charlotte, Branwell, Emily and Anne Bronte have invented a game called Glass Town, where their toy soldiers fight Napoleon and no one dies. This make-believe land helps them escape from a harsh reality. Charlotte and Emily are being sent away to a dangerous boarding school. But then something incredible happens. A train whisks them all away to a real glass town, and the children trade the moors for a wonderland of their own. This is their glass town. Almost. Their Napoleon never rode into battle on a fire-breathing porcelain rooster, and the soldiers can die. Wars are fought over a potion that raises the dead, a potion Anne would like to bring back to England. But returning is out of the question. Charlotte will never go back to that horrible school. As the older girls find a home in Glasstown, Anne and Branwell are captured by Napoleon's henchmen. It's up to Charlotte and Emily to rescue their siblings, but can two English girls stand against Napoleon's armies? And if he escapes Glasstown, will England be safe? Together, the Bronte siblings must battle their own imaginations in this magical celebration of authorship and creativity. I am tentative about this one, because even the blurb sounds like it's a bit too on the side of surreal for me, but we shall see. I'm willing to give it a go. It's over 500 pages, so this readathon will give me a bit of a push. So I've got 4 books there, big books, I can't hold them all up, plus a BB, to be giving a go over the course of the 2 weeks. Hopefully I will get to a couple of these at least, if not all, and I will come back to you and let you know how I've got on at the end of the readathon. Let me know in the comments down below if you're taking part on what you're going to be reading. Have you read any of these? Can you give me any tips which ones to start from? And I look forward to speaking to you soon. Bye for now, BookTube.